space to themselves. No one else could step into their box from the other teams. When these girls got into the box, they crowded it so much they had to line up 3 rows back. But I think that's an amazing thing. I was talking earlier with Andrea about how at this age, being in a sport and having a comrade that you can run with and play with and learn the sport with is an amazing thing, and I'm glad these girls have each other. Are we ready? No? That good, huh? You want to hand it to Caroline? She'll reveal yours and you can reveal hers. 3, 2, 1. Come on, no one ever said running was pretty. Okay, so this young lady got an award earlier for her progress, and during track, I'd see her out there running, and she ran with the sprinters, and I think both the sprint coach and I know that she's more on that long end of the sprint for maybe even an 8 someday. But when Dad decided he was going to sign her up for cross country, I thought it was a great idea because I knew it would be good for her. But I wasn't sure how it'd be for me because she didn't always, like I could tell she didn't want to run long. She was just good at it. And so the first week or two, it was a bit of a struggle trying to figure out how to run and who to run with. If she was given the option to run with the Gremlin girl, she would do that. She would always take that option rather than run with her teammates. But by the end of the year, she was running with the best of these girls. I think her best finish overall was 9 in league. And that's why she got that award. She just came from, I think her first race, she was one of the back of the pack. And then by the end, like I said, it's high up as number 9. So great job, Krista. Very proud. Caroline is one of the first athletes I've met on this team. And she's always a pleasure to coach and always a pleasure to be around. She dealt with some injuries early on in the season, and that kind of delayed her workouts. It's hard when everyone else is progressing and getting better and you can't run and you can't compete with them and then try to jump in when they're already there. But she's been at this for a long time and it just showed. Because when you were able to come back and practice, you just jumped in there and did what you knew you had to do. Your performance today was great. Your best run of the year, so congratulations. In a similar way, but not exactly the same way, Taylor got sick right as we started racing. So I didn't even realize it until 2 weeks ago, race number 5, that was actually her first race of the season, which is tough. Like I said, everyone's been training for weeks and weeks and weeks. They're about to peak in their year, they're at their fastest, and then she's thrown into the lion's den to go compete with those kids. Just like she does everything else, it's all heart, and she went out there and she competed, and she did really well. But then 2 weeks later, when we got to race this week, you went out and you ran, and I think you were like over a minute faster than, or right about a minute faster than you were just 2 weeks before that. So you got into shape and you came and you worked out. Always so proud of everything you do. This young lady fell down a hill. We're training them to run down hills because it's a little scary. And she fell down the hill and rolled, and it was filled with bruises and blood. But you know, shed a few tears and then got back. We filled my bottle up, and then she got back to it. So I'm always proud of everything you do. Mia. Mia's just incredible. Mia's probably, out of everyone here, maybe been running the longest. Caroline maybe about the same, or a little bit more. But Mia, we have these practices where she's hit or miss. She decides sometimes she's going to beat everyone, and then she decides other times, I'm cool, I'll just hang out over here and chill. But when she's on fire, and the whole world knows it. You're an incredible runner, and it's always a pleasure working with you. So Olivia didn't work with me at all in track, and I wanted to work with her, but her brother ran for me last year, and her brother a flying phoenix who actually took first place at Mount Sac just a few days ago. That deserves a round of applause because that's actually he's not here. So I wanted her on the team, but because I know what I ask them to do, you have to want to do, and I don't like forcing or pushing anyone into it. So I was like real laid back, and I was like, yeah, you could long jump. Like I'm thinking, what's the shortest distance anyone could run? And that's what I'm trying to sell her on. And she's like, yeah, that sounds interesting. And she came back, she came out, she did track, and she had fun. And for some crazy reason, she wanted to do cross country. I don't know why, but she did. I'm sure it had a lot to do with the coach. But she decided to come out, and that competitive nature that she has was obvious right from the beginning. So right from the beginning, I see her chasing all the girls. I think that she isn't going to be happy until she's beating Jasmine. I think that is her goal, and I think it's good for her and Jasmine. But never quite got there, but got close a few times, and I'm just very proud of everything you do. Great workout, great workout. So Jasmine got the award for being our MVP this year, the Flying Phoenix Award, and her time this year was, I think her best time was about 2 minutes faster than a similar race the previous year. And she was good last year. This year she really stood out. I think her best finish overall was third. Did you have a third?
I had
a second, see? A second. That's no joke. Because just like we have a lot of depth in midget girls, so do most of the teams. So being competitive in the midget girls means a lot, and you're just incredible to work with. Thank you for everything you do. Are you guys getting bored down here? Listening to me talk about everyone else? So we got Macy kind of, I don't want to say by accident, but we had no idea you were coming. She has a cousin on their team. Can her cousin wave to everyone? Yeah, her cousin brought her out, and I was really happy and impressed the first day because we're doing A skips and B skips, which don't come natural to people, and she had them down. And I forgot that she hadn't done sports before that, or too much sports before that. So I thought that she had learned it somewhere else, but it turned out that the girls, I think, had taught her maybe, had worked it out before. And so to come in and already have that level of interest and intrigue was very nice for me to see as a coach, and it carried through the season. So it was lovely having you. On top of all of that, I think about week 3, we started realizing that she might have asthma, sport-induced or otherwise. Is that right? Am I making things up? Maybe. But today when she was racing, or yesterday when she was racing, it was nothing but a cloud of dust that she was running through. And I was really worried about her. And I know it hurt, but she fought through the whole thing. She didn't complain to me once. She maybe gave me one of these things that she does when it hurts, just to maybe let me know that she was going through it, but she fought through the whole thing. We kept an eye on her. She finished the race and she did a great job, and once again, an inspiration to all of us. Emily's great to have on the team. When practice is over, I start doing the drills and I'm leading the drills, and before I know it, I'm not leading the drills anymore. She's leading the drills. She just takes control, and I really appreciate it. That can-do attitude that you have. It's really, I mean, you run incredibly, but it's the other things that you do for the team. Like you're like a leader amongst many of these girls, so I appreciate it. And both of those girls, I think at least in part, are here because of Liana. Liana came aboard last year, and she was amazing to have on the team then, just as she is this year. She's dealt with a few injuries, both last year and this year, mostly with her heel and ankle. But like so many of these girls, just fights through it. Goes out there and competes. She's our number 2 girl. She's very competitive. And she pushes that pain down, and she gets the job done when she needs to get the job done. So good job. you, ladies.